Welcome to TradeNBA.com. This is Jonas Reports for the 18th of November, and well, we continue to do exactly what was expected. So we hit the positive extreme from right here. We expected that to fill. Oh, guess what? It did just that. And we marked it quite nicely. Now you've got a nice situation where you've got rising DOC red, shorts increasing, midterm and short-term buyers in the form of green and steel declining. A mixed bag, which gives us what? Mostly sideways, with still a positive tint because we are still having rising shakeout. No shock with any of that. Pretty consistent. Again, NASDAQ it's a little bit softer simply because its shakeout had been much more of a deviation compared to looking at that S&P one. So broader market faring better than what had already been an excessive run, comparatively speaking, from tech comparative to the broader market. So sort of a catch-up again. Euro getting pumped up as the expectation is that the U.S. will certainly unleash massive quantitative easing once there's a decision made on the election, which some are believing I think it's getting closer and closer because as court cases move forward and nothing has been changing and certifications start, that will end the whole process, and that is going to probably continue to drive the euro, despite the fact the EU is dead, literally. Nothing's happening in it. And again, until you get that, though, actual stimulus projection, gold's going to languish just a bit until that actually takes place. From an intraday standpoint, a lot of fun. We started off with the short, and I had marked from, well, let's go back and take a look at what we marked from. We had the previous positive extreme that began all this. I'm like, okay, let's just mark it so we've got it down there because you're going to want to have it. And then these other ones pop in. You can fill them all in. These got filled in pretty much early on. But needless to say, they still become relevant overall, particularly if you see a consistency along them. And you'll note, as we can tell over their peaks, we tended to be right on the either side of those. And so moving into the day, we had just broken above it. And of course, what? You get the sell signal right at that previous algo level that then starts a decline that takes you to where? Oh, that's right. The original positive extreme, right virtually within a point or so. I mean, that's how beautiful that construct is and the way they're able to create it. And it just works ideally. We were talking about this one in the weakness configuration where I was shorting even down here at the lows because we were having a breakdown in the power 2. We were in negative shakeout and a little bit of pop towards the 23%. Tried to get a little extra tick in there, and I did because it actually popped up a couple of times before then. But when you don't have that orange spike above, you're not expecting a huge breakdown. Just well, I was looking for it to stay in continuation, which got close to dipping below, but didn't, and it stayed that way until we got right about here. That gave a new buy configuration setup, which was legitimate, and in fact did make a nice move from its original signaling right there at 97, got all the way up to 02 before putting in the exact same short configuration right here. I mean, I could just take this and slide it right over to there, and you'd have the exact same thing. And that is what brought us to the other. I just happened to hold for the broader target because it was expected. And of course, once the target goes in, you ended up with this nice rising configuration. Finally, the shakeout getting with yellow above magenta, and right after a P2, no less. And again, right on the algo. Now, isn't that an interesting coincidence that you get your short signals right at the algo support levels that were previously established, and you get your buy signals right at the previous algo level? It's just too perfect. Too perfect. And of course, that drove us all the way back up to the previous algo level for the other day that I had marked, and that became the high peak caught between those two levels. And so we said, wow, you know, how is it that you're able to see these support resistance? Like, you don't have to do anything. I'm not doing anything special. I'm just marking them. We got a little red line popping up here on the extreme. We know what they are. Just take it for what it is. Got my dip below the red line. I'm expecting those lows to be retested. Sure enough, retests it. Now, this was a decent configuration here as we started building up. Shakeouts rising. I do know that I've got a test of the lows, so hey, do I want to buy at the 23? Well, I'm looking for a discount in that particular pace. Usually I'll go somewhere 75 or 80% of the distance between the 23 and 100% to kind of pick up discounted share if we still get the continuation. And Shakeout was continuing to rise as well as Power Mode too, so felt they had a decent shot at it, and sure enough, nice pop. It was never anything that gave it enough juice, and then we ended up with the crossover points, and then boom, you get the turnaround flip, and then back again. It was kind of choppy stuff. It gets a little tougher when it's choppy that way. But you really had a neutral shakeout as well. It's like I like to see when they're either declining. I really didn't get involved in any of this mess, but then while I was sleeping even, we went all the way back down, retested it. So you create the broad double bottom. You see that from a big chart standpoint. That looks nice. And then right back up to exactly the previous algo where we're at now. So it's just worth pointing out so that you can really respect the significance of what that indicator does for us. The extreme histograms are just very valuable. As always, though, I will continue to put up details on Skype chat. Trade well. We'll talk to you later.